Who is going to win the Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament and be crowned the first Knockouts champions in just under 8 years? Welcome to SCW here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Going to be going through then the Knockouts Tournament for us now, which will crown the Tag Team champions. Going to go through the brackets very, very shortly and give my prediction who I think will win the tournament. As well, we're going to be going to Twitter, going to get your opinions as well. Going to give some shout outs as well. But just before we get started, a little bit of history of the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Now, the first champions were crowned on September 20th, 2009 at No Surrender. Sarita and Taylor Wilde were crowned as the first champions, defeating the beautiful people back in the day there. Madison Rain, who is ironically in the commentary table nowadays. She must see some nostalgia looking and watching this tournament on from there. And Velvet Sky, of course, was her partner, who was in a losing effort in that championship final tournament. The championship did go on until 2013. Of course, the last champions were Eric Young, ironically enough, with ODB, of course, a real life partnership between them two. They were crowned champions on March 8th, 2012. The belts were vacated on June 20th, 2013, due to Brooke Adams saying, well, Eric Young, you're a guy, you shouldn't be having those belts. But the belts were sadly deactivated just 1 week later on June 27th, 2013. So 7.5 years that means since we had these championships in Impact Wrestling. And in my personal opinion, I think that the current Knockouts division we've got is absolutely stacked. It's one of the best women's divisions in all of wrestling. So much talent. And the fact we have one championship, if you're not in that championship picture, you're kind of, not saying you've got nothing to do, but it's hard to find that TV time when you've got 2 weeks of television to get on there every week. I think that this tournament gives a lot of use for a lot of knockouts, and we have some ready-made teams in this tournament as well as we go towards the brackets. You have to look at the likes of, Havok Naeveh, who have been a team for quite a while now. We've got, of course, Deonna Purrazzo and Kimber, who have arguably, been side by side since Deonna Purrazzo come into the company. Very helpful in Deonna Purrazzo becoming a two-time Knockouts champion now. We've got Taya Rosemary, who are kind of a mismatch, but have been partners for quite a while now. And of course, arguably the favourites in the tournament, Kiera, Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Since they came together as a friendship and a partnership, everyone has been crying for these belts to come back. So they've got to be heavy favourites going into this tournament. But looking at the brackets then, as we've got it on your screen right about now, we have, of course, the opening round, which took place yesterday, which was Tenille Dashwood and Alicia against Havok and Naeveh. Of course, Havok and Naeveh did actually progress in this tournament. Of course, Alicia, very unlucky, couldn't find the right partner. Tenille Dashwood just wanted a partner to hold those belts with, but arguably a bad tag team wrestler. She's just interested in Instagram. She's interested in herself. She belongs in the singles division. Didn't really play well as a tag team wrestler. So you had to feel sorry for Alicia here. But maybe it leads to a match between them two further down the line. We'll have to wait and see. But Havok and Naeveh are definite favourites, in my opinion, to get towards the final as you look at this top half of the bracket. Former talents from WWE, certainly NXT UK's Killer Kelly, as well we have Renee Rochelle here, going to be a team taking on Jordynne Grace, and to be announced. I'm interested to see who that will be. I have seen a rumbling in the Twitter and online as well, saying that perhaps ODB could be coming in for this, which would be pretty exciting. I think that as a partnership would be pretty awesome. If that is the case, and whoever Jordynne gets, I expect to get to the semi-final looking at that bracket. If we had to pick one to get to the final there, I would probably go with Havok and Naeveh, just because, as I say, they're a ready-made tag team. They seem favourites in this tournament to get to that, far end of the brackets here to perhaps win those tag team titles. As we go to the bottom half of the bracket, it looks quite stacked down here. We've got Kiera, Hogan and Tasha Steelz taking on the Sea Stars, who I must admit I don't know too much about, but what I can tell you is that the team members' names are Delmi, Exo and Ashley Vox, and let's see what they do, what they bring to the table here in Impact Wrestling. Hopefully they'll bring quite a fantastic opening contest here with Kiera, Hogan and Tasha Steelz, but I would expect Hogan and Steelz to go through on this. But the last match in the bracket is very difficult to tell. Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly against Taya and Rosemary. Deonna Purrazzo has been on a roll, and I would have said prior to her winning the Knockouts Championship for a second time, I would have said this was the team that was going to win the whole thing. But since now she's won the Knockouts Championship, I don't think she needs a second championship. And I have a funny little feeling that Taya and Rosemary are going to progress in this, and I think we are going to have a breakup here between Purrazzo and Lee, and I think that that could be your Knockouts Championship match after the Su Yung stuff finishes, perhaps going towards Hard to Kill. So that's a little different twist there, something I think that could happen in the future in Impact Wrestling. But then going to the semi here, again, very hard to tell between Kiera, Hogan and Tasha Steelz against Taya and Rosemary. To break things up and give a prediction, and we've had Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz against Havok Naeveh previously. They had quite a big rivalry in recent months here on Impact Wrestling. To see them in the final of the tournament would kind of make a lot of sense, but I feel that there would be an argument of saying maybe we've seen it before. So I'm wondering if Taya and Rosemary actually will qualify and get through to the final. But of course, we have had them in action as well, but perhaps not on so much of a program. But just to make things a bit different, I'm going to go for Taya and Rosemary to make the final. And then as we get to the final, if things go as I expect them to, we'd have Havok and Naeveh against Taya and Rosemary. I think that I'm going to go for Havok and Naeveh just purely because I just have a feeling they're going to win the tournament. I don't know. There's just something in me that says that these two right now, they have a spot in Impact where they are solely devoted to tag team wrestling. Yes, Havok is involved with the Who Shot Bravo storyline, but not, I don't think, to the same degree as what I believe Rosemary and Taya will be. I think that they're going to be tied up in that storyline a lot further down the line, where I think Havok will be released from that in the coming weeks. And I think that these would be arguably a good pair to start the division off, because then, as I say, once they've gone through Taya and Rosemary, you can then go back to the match again, potentially with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz for the championships. You've got other tandems in there that could throw themselves together. It could be very interesting indeed. So my prediction will be Havok and Naeveh, which I think is an outside bet in a way, because I don't think they're the favourites going into this tournament. I think if I had the choice of who I wanted to win this tournament, I would have gone with Hogan and Steelz. But I just have a feeling that looking at the bracket, I think it suits Havok and Naeveh to win those championships. They look to have the easier run to the final, and I think once they get to the final, looking at where other teams could be, caught up with other storylines, I think that this team could be the team that could win it all. Well, that's what I think anyway with the Knockouts Tag Team Championships tournaments. Let's go to what you guys think on Twitter. We've got quite a few responses on this one, so I'm going to give some shout-outs now. I'm going to start off with Jamie, the controversial one, Holmes. And remember, controversy always creates cash, a famous Eric Bischoff line. He thinks that Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie are going to win. He's always loved the odd couple teams, and these two have been one of the highlights of the Knockouts division. And as a booking twist, he'd have Johnny Bravo come out afterwards to congratulate them, only to be attacked by Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie, revealing themselves as the ones being behind the shooting. Love that twist you've got going on there. It could be an interesting way and dynamic Impact could go if they want to combine storylines together. And of course, that would be, again, revealed at Hard to Kill, which of course is the next pay-per-view. A very good reason to go and watch that show. So loving your suggestion there. Thank you, Jamie, for that. And Taya World Order, of course, going for Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. I'd be disappointed if you didn't. So thank you for your reply there. And not the only one, Mass Gaming 99 as well, going with Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. Seem to be very popular amongst the Impact community as potential first-time champions here, of course, with the Knockouts Tag Team Championships in 2021. Moving on to other potential contenders, and of course, IoT Adebayo has gone for us with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, arguably the favourites in the tournament. I would say these two, definitely announced by the Impact commentary team. They said that these two are the favourites. They are your favourites as well, and I think that it's definitely a sensible prediction there. I love your shout. Thank you for your comment. Not the only one to pick them, of course, JT as well. Thank you for getting involved, and thank you to Wrestling Hill Mr. J, who says that they are the only answer for all the Impact teams in this tournament, but he'd like to see an upset of Renee, Michelle, and of course Killer Kelly winning the tournament. Now that would be a twist as well, and what a way to make an Impact, pun intended, coming into Impact Wrestling and winning those tag team championships. That certainly would be a surprise to many. And I must admit, I'd like to see him make a splash. I'd like to see him have a good effort in this tournament, and maybe he could earn them contracts and they could be a part of the Knockouts division going forward. But yeah, I think that the shout though with Tasha and Kiera is probably more likely. And thank you for your comment. Definitely very grateful for you getting involved. We mentioned ODB earlier, and of course Cameron made that shout on Twitter. Thank you, Cameron, for your comment saying that ODB and Jordynne Hogan as the partners together in this tournament could go all the way, and certainly I think that they would be popular amongst the Impact community to get there. I certainly would have them down for the semi-finals for definite if that was to be a partnership, and certainly would be a team to look out for. Thank you, Cameron, for your comment. And last but not least there, a shout out to Rich, who's a big fan on Twitter of the Impact community, so definitely need to give a shout out to Rich. He was going for Alicia to go all the way, but unfortunately, as we said, she just didn't have the right partner in Tenille Dashwood. I think that was what let the side down there. I think Alicia is definitely finding her way in the Impact roster with, you know, her current gimmick. She's doing very well. Hopefully a program with Tenille will be what will happen going forward, but certainly still, thank you for your comments. But that's what you guys think on Twitter, and that is the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship Tournament. Who will win the championships at Hard to Kill? I've got Havok and Naeveh. If you're watching this video and you haven't got involved on the comments here, then let me know on the comment section of this video. Who do you think is going to become the Knockouts Tag Team Champions? Of course, we'll find out at Hard to Kill. The tournament now will be taking place on Impact Wrestling on a weekly basis leading to that event. I'll be keeping up to date with it each and every week, and look forward to giving more updates as we get closer towards crowning those champions. But thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out as well. If you're into WWE, my Survivor Series predictions are available on the channel for you now. More videos will be dropping this week, so plenty of reasons to keep an eye on SCW. Make sure to like, share with a friend, maybe subscribe as well if you're enjoying it. Please subscribe, maybe hit the bell as well and set that notification to all. You'll be aware when each and every video is released on this channel. But that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube.